tip number 1, the school. Do not spend too much time focusing on the school. If you know you are coming to Canada because your end goal is to get PR, do not spend a lot of time saying, okay, I'm going to okay, I need all of a sudden, because one of my problems was at one point I was going to do a diploma, then I said no, I can't be spending so much money on a diploma when a master's is like similar or in the same ballpark, right? And then I got so caught up with school and which school to go, but that's not what's important. My end goal at the end of the day is to get PR. Masters is more points in the express entry, but the master's programs that I was seeing in engineering, because if I'm coming back to school, I really want to do a master's in engineering because that's the field I'm in. It was so much money, and it was at that point I decided to make a decision. Okay, I'm not going to pay. My end goal is to become a permanent resident of Canada, right? I am not going to pay $40,000 to do a master's degree now, and when you become a citizen, it's like, or when you become a PR person, it's like $3,000-$4,000 per year. I'm like, make that make sense? My end goal is to be a permanent resident, so why am I going to fork out all of that money now as an international student? I see people do it all the time. Make it make sense. That's my tip. Tip 1. The next tip I would like to give you is, it depends. Your situation is different. Everybody's situation is different. If you're in a situation where your situation, you know in your heart it is complex, please, for the love of God's sake, use an immigration consultant. Use an immigrant. You do not want to have a complex situation and then you go because you believe, oh, I can do it, and then you get a rejection. That no look good when you need to apply again. You know what I mean? So if you know you have a complex situation, use an immigration consultant, because remember, you have to pay to apply, and you're just going to waste that application money, and then you still have to go again. You know, I know immigration consultant money can be expensive, but I am telling you, there are affordable ones. The one that I use, her price at the time was like 1,500 CAD, right? And I thought that was affordable in the grand scheme of things. And if you're going to sit there and judge me and say 1,500 CAD is a lot of money, but yet you're the same person who's going to come to Canada and pay for international fees at $15,000 per year, make it make sense. What is 1,500 compared to 15,000? Just add that to your school fee and call it the cost of your studying, because it makes no sense. You're going to take it on and then you really don't do a good job for yourself. And when I say use an immigration consultant, I know some of them are, the money is crazy ridiculous. Some of them, they are a waste of time, yes, but you need to do your research and find one that definitely work for some people, because you probably know someone who came to Canada and they used someone, and you want to ask them, how was your experience? And if they can give a good experience, then you use them. Some persons will tell you, oh, I used someone and the experience was horrible, because me have to tell them everything. And yeah, you're going to have to tell them everything. They don't know anything about you. But what they should do when you're telling them your story, they should be trying your case like they are the immigration officer and saying, okay, this cannot work, it's giving me red flags. So that's tip number 2. Tip number 3, you can get an open work permit for your spouse. You don't have to be married to the person. You can be a common law person. You can get an open work permit for him or her, because Canada is big on family, and as long as you have proof and you can show it, you're good to go. You don't need to run and get married. You know, they don't care about that. They just want to see that the relationship, you know, is true, strong, and you guys have been together for time. So to prove this relationship, you need to use, like, you can use photographs, like pictures over the years. You can use your bank accounts if you have a joint account together, if you have like utility bills in both of your names. Those are proof that you are in a committed relationship. If you pay rent together, the receipts with both names, those are solid proof you can use in your application for your partner. And in Jamaica, you can apply together with your partner, or you can apply first and then apply for your partner. I chose the way to apply first because it's a higher chance to be denied if you go together. But it can happen, you can get it. But I just did not want to take on that unnecessary risk. Yeah. Tip number 4. A lot of persons always get denied because of proof of funds. Right? Please, please, please. I see people do this all the time. In my case, I had a JMMB, I had an NCB, I had a Scotia account, I had a credit union. I had so many different accounts. But what I did not do was to try to send all my money to one account. No. Keep your money in your separate accounts and just get bank statements and use that. You do not want an immigration officer have to be questioning money that they see coming in your account, because you'll have to use bank statements going as far as 4 months back, and you want it to show over time to build up trust that, hey, I've been, you know, adding money to this and growing my funds. You don't want to put that lump sum in one account, because then you're going to have to, you know, you're going to bring up more red flags. So it's okay to use different accounts. Another thing is, if you are someone, okay, you went ahead and you put all of that money in one account, nothing is wrong. Just make sure you have those, you highlight those transfers that you've made from your own accounts or wherever else you got the money, and explain it. As long as it can be explained, you're good to go. When it comes to explaining, please do not, for the love of God, here's another tip, write simple sentences. You want complex sentences. I can say, hey, for example, hey, I'm going to Kingston today. But me as an immigration officer is going to say, okay, so you're going to Kingston today. What time? When? Why are you going to Kingston? Try to prevent that. You want to say, I am going to Kingston 19 at 5 p.m. today because I want to deal with some business I have been putting off. That is one sentence, but it is complex. So right when I mention that sentence, you know why I was going to Kingston, at what time, and all this. I don't need to question, okay, you know, you don't want to leave any stone unturned in the officer's mind, and you don't want to give too many information that it starts creating other questions. So you just have to be complex, clear, and precise. That's a tip when you're writing your letter of explanation. And when you're writing your letter of explanation, do not put it off like a 1 week thing. Take a month or 2 if you're doing it yourself and write the letter. Get someone else to read it over yourself. Give someone who's probably not even going on the journey and ask them to read it, and ask them, you know, what were their questions, what were their thoughts. That way you can get it down small. I've heard persons said, oh, they have written letter of explanations with 10 pages. I'm like, which immigration consultant you honestly think has the time to sit and read 10 pages? Ask yourself, are you going to sit and read a 10-page document? I'm not going to. If I cannot get the answer I need, because I think they question the proof of funds and their asset. So I think that's the part of the letter they get to. And if it's not clearly put there and concise enough, and they have to be asking too many questions, it's like, no. So be precise, get to the point, ensure it's detailed and your letter is cohesive and it's easily, your reasons are easily explained and identified. That's my tip. Here's my final tip. If you're on this journey wanting to come to Canada, please do not give up. I know the journey is not an easy one and it takes persistence and determination. Do not give up. I am here, no? And sometimes when, you know, I'm in an Uber or I'm going places, I can't believe I just left my life behind. Like, the life I was living, nah. Baby, I'm here, get me a glass of wine. Right? I can't believe I am here because it's a dream and you feel like, and I believe it was all worth it. I'm happy to be here. I am glad I am here, and I will not tell anyone to give up their dream and to sit in whatever situation you're in, because it's better on the other side. It is. So if you got to the end of this video, thank you so much for watching this video until the end. Leave a comment of what you want me to talk about, because I will not know what you want to know unless you leave a comment. And I see that comment about an apartment tour is coming. It's coming. Just have to, you know, I'm a student, I do have school, so I have to make plans for it and make it work. But it's coming. In the meanwhile, I want to do some sit down videos and just tell me what you want to know and I'll do it for you. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.